Quest 3 or Quest 3S, which is the better VR headset? As I obviously have my Quest 3 right here, my Quest 3S is also here that Meta sent to me, and that came with the Batman game, so we beat Batman in the Quest 3S. And I also always utilize my Quest 3. You can check out those videos for all that. But let's talk about what's, I guess, the better option. We see so many tech videos, but I never really see like a full-on transparent option as to what I'm about to break down. So that breakdown is not necessarily what's the better VR headset, but what's the best option for you, right? What's your aspiration for virtual reality and what you're trying to do moving forward? Quest 3 is, or just Quest in general, or VR, we could state that VR is in this weird middle state, and not weird in the essence of trying to be negative with VR, but it's in a weird middle state, whereas VR is treated as an extension, like a hybrid format, like the way PlayStation treats PSVR 2, or it's in some state where it's like standalone, but it's still very early when it comes to graphics, the operation aspects, streaming it, and just being able to read chat, right? There's also like, yeah, it's just not even up to par to even like a console type stream at this moment when it comes to that deliverance. You can't stream standalone on Twitch still. You can do Facebook Live, but yeah, that's what I mean. So VR is really weird. So you want to look to yourself and kind of just ask these questions. And I want to just help this out, chat, because I know some of y'all been asking me this also. So what's the better option up front when we look at specs? So let's break down the specs first, right? Which is what every video will cover, but we're going to do this the fast version. Quest 3, better resolution, field of view, and the most notable thing is the fact that it has pancake lenses over Fresnel lenses, or like more of the ovular type lenses of a Quest 2. That's what Quest 3 has. Quest 3 still keeps that Quest 2 format, but they have a better pass-through option. It's not black and white, it's now in color. While Quest 3, they have just better resolution, pancake lenses, and a little bit more advanced things, but those are the main facets of it. Another great way that I like to break down the Quest 3 versus Quest 3S is the fact that a Quest 3, you can think about it like a Nintendo Switch OLED, and you could think of the Quest 3 as like a Switch Lite or something. You know, it's faster to grab, like $200 cheaper, and it does basically 80 to 90% of what you would want in a Quest 3 anyways. So now let's go into the other aspect I want to talk about. Who is it actually for? So if you're somebody that is looking to play VR for fun, just kind of have some casual nights, I would definitely do Quest 3S. It's not a massive jump that a lot of people would even think about. And I feel that you save yourself a lot of money. It's a smaller investment, a smaller risk to see if you even like virtual reality. When you step into the world of virtual reality, it's a different reality, that's for sure. But it's very unique, whether you're doing the experiences. Like, a lot of things are still really new, you know, whether you're just viewing shows, movies, videos in hindsight, or the Xbox cloud gaming that just recently happened too. But it's not just that, it's more like the experience of gaming in VR, as I mentioned earlier, is very early. It's for a next generation of gamers. So the best option overall, in my opinion, will always be a Quest 3S, because it's cheaper if you're just a casual person about it, right? This is if you're just a casual person and you're like, hey, I'm new to VR, which one's a better option? Quest 3S will do more than enough for you, more than enough. It doesn't have, I also didn't mention that it has a little bit less battery life than the Quest 3. So I'm thinking more it's like a Quest 2.5 in terms of that aspect, especially if you already had a Quest 2. Then we'll get into that right now. So just know, if you're not really looking to stream VR, you're not looking into like really anything else in terms of taking things to the next level, you just kind of want like a fun party trick. VR is always like the coolest party trick in the world. So if you're down to just have a party trick, show it off, like have people jump into some games, Quest 3S is more than enough for that. And what I said earlier, it's an investment that's not a massive risk. You know what I mean? You don't want to be breaking the bank, and you don't even enjoy VR. Because me as a VR person, sometimes I don't even like being in VR that long. It can be very exhausting at times. So some people won't like it up front. Like, it starts off with snap turn, and you put on like smooth aspects in terms of locomotion, and you might get like really upset stomach for that. You can get very nauseous off stuff. So I would say Quest 3S, if you're just a casual, you don't really know VR, you just want to jump into it. It's the easy entry. It's what Quest 2 was at launch price, way back when it first came out. And yeah, you're not dropping a whole ton of money. and you're getting the experience you would probably get anywhere else, you know, in the VR aspect, just not really up to par stuff in terms of graphics, but you're getting 85% to 90% of everything that's already in VR, especially Quest. Quest has changed the whole mainframe of what virtual reality is right now, when it comes to games and the overall experience. So yeah, that's the Quest 3S format. You're casual, party trick, have it at your house, pick it up, have fun. Quest 3S. Now let's go to the other aspect of it, because as what I did mention earlier, going into the Quest 3, now what makes Quest 3 a better option? $200 more, right? So you got to already think about that. We all know the economy. Quest 3 has the better resolution, higher battery life, field of view, and then they also have the pancake lenses. At least those are the upfront things that are selling that price point right now. Now, who does that really cater to? People like me, who talk about VR or have had experience with VR, partnerships with VR, stream VR, already have a PC. If they want to go to PC VR, it would be one of your cheaper PC VR options. Quest becomes PC VR automatically, especially with the Steam Link app. Like it's easier than ever to do anything in PC VR now with your Quest. So with that, I would say if you're an enthusiast, if you already had Quest 2, OG Quest especially, or any OG headset in that sense, I think that is definitely worth it. Quest 3 is 100% worth it. It is the coolest thing. The updates are awesome right now. Like, and that goes for Quest 3S also. It's the same caliber. But if you're making that extra additional leap, I feel like if you're already familiar with VR, then yeah. And if you like to appreciate smaller things, then 100%, man. Because the mixed reality is so cool. The updates have been so cool to see. Now, it's not like a massive leap, a huge leap when it comes to like OG Quest and now, but just seeing it casually graduate, and if you're somebody like me who covered VR for years and seen the OG stuff, it's just cool to see like the evolution of it. Now, still in a middle ground, not really a primary gaming option for people still these days. It's not persuasive enough, but for somebody like me in a niche type of, you know, genre, which is VR, I think that I think Quest 3 is a good love letter to those who have been around VR for a while. That's possibly my simplest way to say it. If you want just a Quest 3, not a Quest 3S, right? If you want a Quest 3, it's more of a love letter to VR enthusiasts. Faster, less complex. You could jump right in, standalone at the best viable option you can get. Not the most, I guess, entry, and not in terms of price point especially, but more of it's a love letter to us where it makes it fast. The PC VR attribution is a lot faster now. And if you're a streamer and you want to create content, like, again, if you're like somebody like me, like, you know who I'm talking to, basically. If you want to take it further with VR, then Quest 3 does so much. I have it right here. Like, I love it. I love my Quest 3. I love it. I have it out all the time. I always utilize it. These are the controllers and stuff like this right here. They do have hand tracking. The AI full body tracking is trying to get better, where it just implements automatic responses. And for being standalone, it's so cool. So that is my ultimate. Who are you and what do you want yourself, or what do you see yourself utilizing VR? I would say if you've never used VR before, go for a Quest 3S. It's not a massive investment and you could get a lot out of it no matter what route you take. Like, maybe if you only play 2 hours a week, if you're somebody like me who works all week, who hustles, who works out, runs a small business, is constantly traveling, maybe Quest 3 is for you. You know, it's something where you can jump right in. It's easy. It's affordable for sure. The most affordable VR headset now since Quest 2, which is why I like to call it a Quest 2.5. It basically reminds me of that, except for like the color pass through. And then Quest 3, if you're really looking to advance what you want to learn about VR, get the fulfillment of just learning, because VR, you're learning as you're going in virtual reality, where Quest 3 is still a learning process, or they're constantly trying to get better. It's a gradual thing, though. It's improvements, but it's not these, whoa, this is improved. You know what I mean? So I feel that overall, if you really want to weigh out your options when it comes to virtual reality, do I want to have a less investment, lower risk with a high reward? Which means if you've never done VR, you always have to go that option. VR costs so much money, and it could be so damn gimmicky at times where you don't always want VR just dropping money. Haptic vests, haptic gloves. They even have haptic tongue tasting at this time. They have some dumb stuff in VR where like they try to get you to spend your money all day, where it's super gimmicky, where they have other cool stuff. Like the vest is cool, like the VR treadmills are cool. It's still a lot of money to be dropped in that. But if you go the Quest 3S route, so much easier. Get it, you'll have fun. The games look just fine in there. If you never even played a Quest 2 especially, oh man, then you're gonna have so much fun. Quest 3S. Quest 3, if you know VR, if you know the different of the resolutions, if you know the graphics aspect, you know the potential, and you're optimistic in terms of futuristic gaming, then Quest 3 for sure. But you have to be spending time in there, because don't drop an extra like $200 USD on Quest 3 versus just getting a Quest 3S if you're not going to appreciate like the small things of VR, right? And yeah, as I compared it earlier, the perfect comparison will always be a Switch OLED to a Switch Lite is the way I compare Quest 3 and Quest 3S right now. So y'all can take y'all's insights on that, chat. You know what I mean? So hopefully that is something. I think that's a great question, because people still come through to my VR content all day, although I don't create VR content as much. So I really wanted to answer that, because I know y'all asked me this still on my older videos, like Quest 3 or Quest 3S. And in my opinion, because y'all know I'm going to give y'all like just raw stuff. I'm not just going to be like, oh, here's specs and here's specs. Like, nah, more of this choice is dependent on you. It's the reason why people buy a Switch Lite and a Switch OLED now. Is it resolution? That's the price point. Or are you trying to like show off a lot of the aesthetically, enjoy it personally? Or are you somebody that doesn't want to like risk too much money, knowing that you can't really play it that much, or not really understand everything that's going on, or don't want to keep up too much with the Joneses is? You just want to play, jump in and jump out, have it for the house. Quest 3S is the route to go. But yeah, y'all let me know what's up, Chad. I appreciate y'all. This is a good conversation, man. I always love when I come back to virtual reality and talk about it. So hopefully we can just keep vibing out. Hit us up, thumbs up, subscribe, drop your comment. And drop some insights. If you want to drop more specified things in terms of specs and everything, let me know. I just like to say that because it gets it out the way and it lets people know immediately like what's the difference and what you can get out of it and how much damn money you're spending in between that. You know what I mean? $200. But yeah, let me know what's good, man. I appreciate y'all. Peace.